Bangladesh, a land known for its lush green landscapes and vibrant culture, harbors a dark secret. Beneath the surface of its picturesque beauty lies a history marred by violence and persecution. It's a nation where a significant religious minority, the Hindus, have faced systematic persecution for decades. This persecution has been both overt and insidious, affecting every aspect of their lives. This isn't a recent phenomenon. It's a deep-rooted issue with its roots in historical tensions and political turmoil. The seeds of this animosity were sown long ago, and they have continued to grow over the years. The partition of India in 1947, which led to the creation of Pakistan and later Bangladesh, was a tumultuous period marked by widespread communal violence. The scars of this partition are still visible today. Hindus, who found themselves on the wrong side of the newly drawn borders, became easy targets. They were caught in a whirlwind of violence and displacement. Many were displaced, their homes and businesses looted or destroyed. The loss was not just physical but also emotional, as families were torn apart and communities shattered. This violence, although shocking in its brutality, set a dangerous precedent. It created a cycle of violence and retribution that has been hard to break. It sowed the seeds of mistrust and animosity between communities, a legacy that continues to haunt Bangladesh today. The divisions created during that time have only deepened over the years. This historical context is crucial to understanding the complex dynamics that fuel the ongoing persecution of Hindus. Without acknowledging this past, it's impossible to address the present issues. It's a tragic tale of suffering and injustice, one that demands attention and calls for accountability. The resilience of the Hindu community in the face of such adversity is a testament to their strength and spirit. The birth of Bangladesh in 1971, after a bloody war of independence from Pakistan, brought with it a glimmer of hope and a promise of a new beginning. The new nation, founded on the principles of secularism and equality, promised a brighter future for all its citizens, regardless of their religious beliefs or ethnic backgrounds. However, these promises proved to be short-lived, as the harsh realities of post-war reconstruction set in. The initial euphoria of liberation soon gave way to a harsh reality for many Hindus, who found themselves facing renewed discrimination and violence. The violence and discrimination they had endured during the partition resurfaced, fueled by deep-seated prejudices and a culture of impunity that seemed to persist. The government's failure to address this issue effectively, coupled with a lack of political will, allowed the cycle of violence to continue unabated, leaving many feeling abandoned. The Constitution, while guaranteeing equal rights for all, was often ignored in practice, leading to widespread disillusionment. This betrayal of trust further marginalized the Hindu community, leaving them feeling vulnerable and betrayed in their own homeland, a place they had hoped would be safe. The dream of a truly inclusive Bangladesh remained elusive, a distant hope overshadowed by the harsh realities on the ground. One of the most insidious forms of persecution faced by Hindus in Bangladesh is the rampant land grabbing. This practice, often carried out with the complicity of corrupt officials and powerful individuals, targets the most vulnerable in society. Hindus, often seen as easy prey due to their minority status and lack of influence, are systematically dispossessed of their ancestral lands and properties. The methods employed are often brutal, involving intimidation, threats, and even physical violence. This land grab epidemic has a devastating impact on the Hindu community. It not only deprives them of their livelihoods and economic security, but also strikes at the very core of their identity and sense of belonging. The loss of land, passed down through generations, represents a loss of heritage and a forced uprooting from their homes. It's a constant reminder of their precarious existence in a country where their rights are routinely trampled upon. Adding fuel to the fire of Hindu persecution is the rise of religious extremism in Bangladesh. Radical Islamist groups, often with ties to international terrorist organizations, have gained a foothold in the country, exploiting existing societal divisions to further their agenda. These groups view Hindus as infidels and target them with impunity. Attacks on Hindu temples, businesses, and individuals have become increasingly common, creating a climate of fear and insecurity. The government's response to this growing threat has been largely inadequate. While some efforts have been made to crack down on extremist groups, a culture of impunity often prevails, allowing perpetrators to act with little fear of consequences. This rise in religious extremism poses a significant threat, not only to the Hindu community but also to the very fabric of Bangladeshi society. It undermines the principles of tolerance and pluralism that the nation was founded upon. Section 5. Forced conversions and abduction of women. Perhaps the most horrific aspect of Hindu persecution in Bangladesh is the targeting of women and girls. Forced conversions and abductions have become all too common, leaving countless families shattered and lives destroyed. Young Hindu women are often abducted, forcibly converted to Islam, and married off to Muslim men. These acts are often carried out with the tacit approval of local communities and authorities, leaving the victims with little hope of justice. The trauma inflicted by these acts is unimaginable. It strips these women of their dignity, their freedom, and their right to choose their own faith and life partners. It's a stark reminder of the vulnerability of minority communities in the face of religious intolerance. This systematic targeting of women and girls is not just a human rights issue, it's a stain on the conscience of Bangladesh. Section 6. The plight of Hindu festivals and places of worship. The persecution of Hindus in Bangladesh extends beyond physical violence and economic deprivation. It also manifests in the desecration of their holy sites and the disruption of their religious practices. Hindu temples, often seen as symbols of their faith and cultural heritage, are frequently vandalized, looted, or destroyed. These acts of sacrilege are not just attacks on buildings. They are attacks on the very soul of the Hindu community. Similarly, Hindu festivals, traditionally occasions for joy and celebration, are often met with suspicion and hostility. Restrictions are imposed on processions and gatherings, while threats and intimidation are commonplace. This denial of religious freedom strikes at the heart of what it means to be Hindu in Bangladesh. It's a constant reminder that they are not treated as equal citizens in their own country. Section 7. International response and inaction. Despite the gravity of the situation, the international community's response to the plight of Hindus in Bangladesh has been largely muted. While some human rights organizations have documented the abuses and called for action, there has been a lack of sustained pressure on the Bangladeshi government to address the issue. This lack of attention is partly due to Bangladesh's strategic importance in the region and its close ties to powerful nations. However, this cannot be an excuse for inaction. The international community has a moral obligation to speak out against human rights abuses wherever they occur. Turning a blind eye to the suffering of the Hindu minority in Bangladesh sets a dangerous precedent and emboldens perpetrators. It's time for the world to acknowledge the plight of Bangladeshi Hindus and demand justice and accountability. Section 8. The importance of speaking out. In the face of such widespread persecution, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and powerless. However, silence is not an option. It's crucial that we break the silence surrounding this issue and amplify the voices of the victims. Speaking out against injustice, even in the face of adversity, is the first step towards change. Sharing stories of persecution, raising awareness on social media, and engaging in peaceful protests can help shine a light on this often ignored issue. It's also essential to support organizations working on the ground to protect the rights of Hindus in Bangladesh. These organizations provide legal aid, document human rights abuses, and offer humanitarian assistance to those in need. By working together, we can create a global movement for justice and hold those responsible for these atrocities accountable. Section 9. A call for justice and equality. The persecution of Hindus in Bangladesh is a stain on the conscience of humanity. These acts of violence and discrimination are not just isolated incidents but part of a broader pattern of systemic oppression. It's a stark reminder that religious freedom and minority rights are under threat in many parts of the world. The struggle for equality and justice is ongoing and requires our collective effort and vigilance. It's time for the Bangladeshi government to take concrete steps to protect its Hindu citizens. This is not just a moral obligation, but a legal one, enshrined in international human rights laws. This includes enacting and enforcing laws that guarantee their safety and security, ensuring that these laws are not just words on paper, but are actively implemented. Bringing perpetrators of violence to justice, and ensuring that those who commit these heinous acts are held accountable, and promoting interfaith dialogue and understanding. Building bridges between communities is essential for lasting peace and harmony. The international community also has a role to play in ensuring that Bangladesh upholds its human rights obligations. Global solidarity can amplify the voices of the oppressed and bring about meaningful change. This includes providing humanitarian assistance to those in need, offering support to the victims and helping them rebuild their lives, imposing sanctions on individuals and entities complicit in human rights abuses, sending a clear message that such actions will not be tolerated, and supporting civil society organizations working to promote tolerance and reconciliation. These grassroots efforts are crucial for fostering a culture of respect and understanding. Ultimately, the goal is to create a Bangladesh where all citizens, regardless of their religion, are treated with dignity and respect. A society where diversity is celebrated and everyone has the opportunity to thrive. A Bangladesh where Hindus can live without fear and enjoy the same rights and opportunities as everyone else. A place where they can practice their faith freely and contribute to the nation's growth. It's a long and arduous journey, but one that we must undertake together. Only through unity and persistent effort can we achieve true justice and equality for all.